I squatted 800 pounds on a cambered bar with 350 pounds of chains, I think is what it was. And I'm telling you, it hurt to touch my traps for like 2 weeks.
Welcome back to the Level Up Life, Muscle and Mindset Mastery. I'm your host, Adam. Got Jordan Eckman here, co-hosting today. So something I was running through my brain this morning is your mindset when you wake up and when you go to bed and how that can frame your day. So I challenge all of you, when you wake up, think automatically something awesome is going to happen to me today. And then when you go to bed, think something awesome is going to happen tomorrow. And it'll help you see the world differently. We got special guest here, someone who is an elite level power lifter. His name's Russell Yankee. Welcome, man.
Hey,
thanks for coming.
Having me on.
Yeah. So tell me, how did you get into lifting?
Okay, I'll start at a backstory originally. When I was about 16 years old, my uncle got out of prison. And Dell, that was my Uncle Dell. He was married to my Aunt Carmen. He was kind of jacked, came out pretty swole, and he got me into lifting. He said I was built like a cheerleader. I think I tried him, and he kind of whooped me, and then I started lifting weights with him. That's kind of how it went. It was weird. So I lived in Freeland, Michigan at the time, and we started lifting weights in the backyard, all cement. You remember the cement weights?
In plastic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they sucked, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I did everything he told me to do. All we did was bench. My uncle didn't deadlift or squat. So bench was all I knew, right? And so I started doing it, and we ate tuna, fish, crackers, and mayo every workout after. We had to. It was like a must, right?
Right.
So I was benching 200 pounds within a couple months, and then before I knew, I was doing 10 sets of 10 with 200 pounds, because he had me doing that. Like, I had to do it. And I remember I was in high school. I started seeing that I was pretty strong. I think by the end of high school, I benched like 335. I was about $165.
Yeah, that's
pretty
impressive
small.
at that weight.
Yep, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't even know how to bench. I was just being a dumbass. I was just bouncing off my chest. And, I actually hurt my rib cage quite a bit by doing that. I would bruise my what the hell is it called? Your solar plex. Mm-hmm. I remember it being bruised. But when I got a little older, I was I used to ride my bike back and forth to Saginaw, and I would work out and ride it back to Freeland. Actually, I remember doing leg day one day because I started doing legs, and I went over my handlebars and busted my shit on Tibbetawasi. That sucked. I remember very clearly. Some people were honking at me to get out of the road and stuff, and I was hurt. I was like, all right, okay.
Yep, sorry.
Like, I'm tired. Okay, so I remember stopping at that 7-Eleven and getting a water and sitting outside being like, wow, this sucks. Anyways, after that, I eventually got to a gym called Old Town Gym, and that gym meant a lot to me. There was a guy named Stuart Schwagert. His son actually is well known because he played in the NFL. Most people know Stuart Schwagert because he played for the Raiders and the Lions. His dad was super excited. I remember how hype he was. Actually, I remember Stu came back from the NFL camp with a couple guys and lifted up at Old Town a couple times. And that gym is where I learned what strength was. I thought strength was benching 400, 500 pounds, whatever. And I also thought squatting 500-600 was amazing. Deadlifting 500-600 was amazing. And I was wrong, right? So I get up there. There's this old cowboy-ass dude, Stu Schwagert, and he's deadlifting over 700 pounds. He's 6'1" at 205. He's a sheriff, right? Then we got Mike. I can't even remember what Mike's last name was. He had the old Ace bandage wraps on. They weren't even good as these sleeves that kids are wearing now. Squatting 700 for sets of 5 to 6, all right? Then we got a guy named Cruz, Mexican cat, big as can be. Probably 400 pounds, right? Benches 600 raw. 600 pounds raw. I'm pretty strong. Still haven't touched Cruz's bench press. It's a lifelong goal.
Right.
Don't know if I'm built big enough. That boy was not small. He was nobody to play with. And just started meeting some smaller guys even up there that were hitting big numbers. And I remember I got up to 445, and I was like really early 20s, and I was still drinking and partying. and I wasn't really living a good life. My stepfather who raised me, passed away when I was like 19. I think it was just before my 20th birthday.
Did you use this, like the fitness stuff, as kind of a coping mechanism for that?
I think so. My whole life was pretty crappy growing up. A lot of deaths from like drug use. My mom was she like worked like another job. She also had a boyfriend when we were younger that kind of put his hands on us a couple times. Not like slapping our butts, obviously, right? So I won't go into deep detail on that. But yeah, he definitely put his hands on us. And then my stepfather came in. He was pretty cool when we first started, but he got pretty heavy into alcohol, and that's ended up being his past, and he died from that, drinking and driving. My mother, she kind of got doctor medication, so, I love the lady, but she's always been on meds since I was pretty young, right? My sister always kind of been, she's supposedly clean now. I don't know. We don't really talk. A lot of my cousins and aunts and uncles have died from like drug use or overdose use, and some that I don't want to even discuss really, right? Okay, but lot of bad stuff going on. When I grew up, that was the one thing about Stu that always offset me. He just seemed so real, but he was a cop. And when I grew up, everybody that was a cop was evil. That's what we were taught. You know what I mean? My family was criminals. So because he was the opposite side. But I was at a place that we called Cops and Robbers. Old Town Gym was Cops and Robbers, right? That's what everybody told me it was. I used to work out with a black dude named Reggie Bryan up there. I still talk to him. Actually, I had messaged him last night about Stu Schwaggart dying, senior. And that guy forged a concept in me of what not only what strong, what being a man was, right? I really liked that guy. He was something different. He was like a real life cowboy. You know what I mean? Getting chills talking about him. But like for real, like he had cowboy boots on all the time. He talked with a certain way, and he walked a certain way, and you knew not to fuck with him, right? He wasn't nobody to play with. He really wasn't. And I just got a lot of respect for him. So R.I.P. Stu Schwaggart. You definitely part of all this, and you started it all for me. But,
well, I think like just to highlight that. So you had kind of some negative influences.
Yeah.
And then you had at the gym, I'm sure elsewhere, but the guys you're talking about, those were positive influences on you that, I think it's, they weren't your family.
Nope.
I think it goes kind of unlooked upon how big, I think about how big of an impact I have on the kids at the juvenile center.
Yep.
Going there, work with them. Show them that we care, and sometimes it's like, caring is different. It can be like, I don't know, these guys teach you some things about weights.
A little bit. They just showed me what it was to be intense.
Yeah. So
they showed me the way of something that I thought was cool, regardless of who they were as people.
Right.
So their like set principle, who they were as a man or a person, did not change on what I thought was cool.
Right.
And what I thought was cool is being fucking strong.
Yeah.
And I still think that. I'm 40 years old in a couple of weeks. I still think being strong is cool, and any young man does too. Yeah. I coach over 20 youth right now, and every single one of the boys look up to me, and my word's everything to them. When they got big wrestling meets coming up, I call them and check on them. I got a kid named Matt Weingart. His dad was a fighter. His dad's a good, tough guy too. He still looks to me for guidance. I know he does. He has a good, maybe I don't know his home life, but he has a pretty good home compared to anything I grew up in. Right. Much better. I also got into combat sports when I was younger too, and I really liked wrestling and like martial arts and stuff. I got in some Thai kickboxing with a guy named Rico Francisco Garcia. They called him the Crippler back in the day, and that was my first like Thai coach. And I got in some Tang Sudo karate with him also. Yeah. And then I met a guy named Mark Kanar. Do you ever heard of him? He runs a Taekwondo facility here in Midland in the mall. He has one in the Saginaw Mall. He has one in Caro, sorry. I work with him out of my Hemlock facility where I coach out of currently. Hemlock, you know where Frosty's is in Hemlock? Mm-hmm. I'm right next door.
Okay.
Right now, that's where I coach out of. It's called Strength of the Pitbull.
Yep.
Anyways, I work with there. It's a wrestling place, and we have Taekwondo. And I do the strength training, like specifically, it's a private facility. But all those people really had some kind of a way on who I am now.
Yeah.
And I still was in the streets, though, doing bad stuff. And I got caught up at 25 years old.
You had to learn on your own, too,
Yep,
right?
I still had to learn. I mean, the people that I seen growing up, how they made money was doing what they did. So I was doing that stuff, too. And when I was about 25 years old, I got caught up. I was driving. I had a bunch of stuff on me. And I had some other stuff on me, got caught. And ended up facing prison time, didn't do it. Ended up doing a little bit of time. Got out, did about 2.5 years on probation, and I got lucky to get a delay of sentence. You know what that is, I'm sure.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
you probably know. I know you got a little history too. So thankfully, I didn't get the felony, and I was able to actually fix my life later on. My kid's mother got pregnant again with my second kid, my son, 10 years ago, and that's when he was born. She seemed clean. Then she got back on stuff, and then I had to make a decision when he was a couple months old that I had to fix my life entirely. I couldn't do wrong anymore. He was going to be without a father like me.
Right.
So I decided to clean up my life. I ended up going back to Delta College. I ended up getting a degree in chemical process operations. And then I started working at Dow Corning. I got hired in directly out of college. I left there when Dow Chemical bought them out. And then I was a pipe fitter for some years, and I currently am with a girl named Rachel that helped me clean up my life. And when that happened, I finally had enough time and focus to do something that I wanted to do. And I wanted to do a powerlifting meet, and I was in the bars all the time and stuff. And I'm not going to say why I stopped going to the bars originally. Something happened one night, and it kind of offset me going to the bars anymore. I was kind of done with it, and I stopped drinking. I was drinking probably a gallon of vodka a week, maybe more, plus other stuff. And I was getting rowdy, right? You know what I mean? So anyways, I got out of that and stopped with like the heavy pot use and stuff too, because that was something I did when I was younger. Smoked a lot of pot.
I did that too.
You know, yeah, I'm not even against pot. Honestly, I know it's legal. I think like edibles can be beneficial in terms of inflammation, sleep, hunger, and cancer, right? For sure for cancer. Timmy Tornado, he used it to help beat his cancer. I think that's amazing. He's a great fighter, great person. I can't remember where he's from. He's from up north.
Okay.
Great guy, though. MMA fighter. Used the Simpson oil to beat his cancer. Not chemo, Simpson oil.
Right.
It's gone. You know, just because they don't say that it works, I don't care. I've seen it work for people, so I'm not against it.
Right.
I'm just saying heavy usage of anything's probably not good, right?
Yeah.
So
if it causes, like for me, in my situation, in my life, stuff like that leads me to other things that cause me.
Gateway.
Yeah. And like I always say, I go out, my wife and I, we go out to dinner with someone and they're having drinks and they're like, you want to have a beer? You're not having one?
Yeah.
And I'll say, my go-to is always, no, I'm allergic. And they look at me like, what?
That's awesome.
And then I tell them, I break out in handcuffs. Oh, and everyone starts laughing.
That's great.
But it's true because I take a sip of the bottle. It may not be that day. It's a progressive disease, right? I end up drinking. Then it goes, usually like this has been recurrent. I've done this a few times, tried different ways. I always go drink. Then it's drinking and usually cocaine.
Yep.
Then I end up getting into a fight or something happens, I get hurt, and I go right back to opiates. Or I'll have a family member. I had a lot of loss in my early teenage
Probably similar
years.
life to me, huh?
Yeah. So then I went to that stuff to cope, man. It numbed the pain.
Yep. Yeah, I think that I was kind of looking the same route myself at some points, but thankfully I kind of always had the gym. I don't know how, but I always like that concept or that word. What is it? That quote? 200 pounds is always 200 pounds.
Yep.
Right. So the consistency of weights is something that's always gave me like a shelf to lay my hat on every night. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And even when I was being a piece of shit, I think the weights were consistent and it kept me a little bit more grounded. If I didn't have the gym, I don't think I would have anything. I don't even think I'd be alive or well.
Right.
I honestly think I would have just lost myself.
Well, I can relate to that just because I had I'd lifted and then I'd relapse and I'd quit lifting and I'd start lifting again. So my periods of abstinence were where I would lift weights.
Yeah, and that was the only period that kept you out of it, right?
Yeah, and then I was doing reflection and treatment. I was up at Harbor Hall, and I'm like, there's something to it, and there is science-backed information about
the dopamine,
and I mean what's your so let's get into your records right now.
So comp records, gym records. What do you want? Because I got totally different numbers.
Yeah. So explain. Let's hear both for each, and then explain to our audience the difference. Between comp and gym. Okay. And then also like, I know when I've hit personal bests in the gym, you get that wave of accomplishment. You work your butt off to get to that point, and sometimes it seems like the numbers are just
that's how they go after you get to a certain number.
It's frustrating because you have those down days where you're just not feeling it.
So the concept is strength is never linear, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody's hyper obsessive about that. And also the concept is that you have to follow the strength curve. Right. And young kids don't understand what the strength curve really is. Mm-hmm. They have no concept of what a deload is. They have no concept of any type of linear progression with their waves. I'm all about waves. I mean, life goes in waves, right?
Oh, yeah.
So does lifting.
Weight loss typically goes like this, too.
Yep, and it should, because you should be putting on muscle tissue as you're doing it. Mm-hmm. And also, to keep the body consistently losing weight, you have to kind of give it ups and downs. You have to give it valleys, because we weren't meant to eat the same exact way every damn day. Evolution is non-deniable in some ways in how our body responds to things, right? So I call myself a redneck scientist because of this stuff.
Yeah. And what happened in the summer or in the fall? We'd harvest. There'd be plentiful food. And what happened in the winter?
Yep. And then we wouldn't have nothing. You start starving out. And you got to fight harder for your food.
I always call it seasons of nutrition, right?
Yeah. I like that. That's not bad. Yep. I just think conceptually we have this obsession that we're going to continuously go either up in terms of strength or down in terms of weight loss. Mm-hmm. It's stupid. It really is. It doesn't make any sense. There's no science to back it. It's just your concept of how you feel things should work, and then it's that get things quick mindset from McDonald's, whatever.
Right, and I think social media plays an active role in that.
Oh, highlight central.
just manipulating people's expectations and
So for the weights, for the most I've done in the gym, I definitely got a higher sleeve squat than I've ever done in comp, because I haven't done a sleeve comp since 2021. I could pause my old max reps right now that I did back then. I squatted 661. I think I was 217 pounds, and I was in IPL Worlds in England. I went to Coventry, England. That's when I went to represent the United States in 2021. That was my first year of powerlifting. I did my first comp. I squatted 654. I think I benched 468, and I deadlifted 705. Phenomenal deadlift. Very good leverages for deadlift. And haven't really beat my old deadlift by a lot because my squat's just been going through the roof. But my deadlift's much higher in the gym because I don't have to squat and bench first, right?
Right.
So that's a big difference on how your body responds. So that's one thing people don't understand.
That's nervous system, too.
Well, scapula issues. So like something that people do a lot is they squat with a straight bar. Well, I can't barely ever squat with a straight bar. If I do, my bench suffers and even my deadlift suffers. Right. Your scapulas are a big part of stability in both your deadlift and your bench press. So the one thing I do is use the Duffalo bar quite frequently. It's harder, but I don't care. I can train on it. When I throw a straight bar on my back, I feel more natural. It's easier, and I can squat a little bit more weight. So I like to train with the Duffalo bar exclusively during off season, almost entirely through the whole thing. You'll see 2 to 3 weeks without the Duffalo bar. Every time I've strayed away from that, I've had issues. Also, I like the reverse hyper. It keeps my back very healthy. Yep. It's a decompressant and a contraction at the same time. Opens up the vertebrae and the back, flushes blood into there, keeps that spinal column from like locking up, pressing, and literally fusing together. Yeah. You think I squat, my best squat in the gym, I did a high squat, which was like 2 or 3 inches high. Best ever was 890. I squatted that. Yep. So that was pretty cool.
Relative. So to tell our audience, like, because a lot of our listeners view, myself, Jordan, Waz, who's not here, as very strong individuals. This is like world record-setting strength that he's talking about. Because my max squat ever was 455.
That's still good.
That's strong. It's at my body weight, it's over double. It's like 2.5.
Yeah.
So I would be considered like really strong percentile, like top percentile of average individuals and even gym goers. But the numbers that you're talking about on all of those, so
best
far,
on the planet.
They're elite.
Yeah.
They're not like, you're not going to walk into a gym and see someone doing these numbers.
No, you're lucky to see a couple people in your lifetime lift those weights.
Yeah.
I mean, I regularly rep 700 plus on squats.
Right.
It's pretty regular, and 600 plus on deadlifts. My bench press max in the gym is 535 all time. I'm going for 540 actually this Wednesday. My best press in competition is 510. I missed 530 by just a little bit at the top at the Arnold this year, which I won, XPC Pro. I won the Open, not just my age group or nothing. But I totaled 2,030. I squatted 790. I went to squat 825 in the second. Got called on depth. Didn't miss the squat, missed the depth, right? And then I ended up pulling 730 at the end. My best deadlift in the gym is 755. 755 I got. That was my highest deadlift all time. No straps or nothing. No suit.
That's like...
Yeah, I got pretty decent grip. My hand's a little messed up from a couple breaks I got from some fist fights. And,
the grip strength to do that is...
Yeah, pretty decent. Really, the biggest problem I always have is skin. So, like, my deadlift kept going up for a while, and all I kept having problems with my skin ripping off. Actually, the Arnold in 2024, I pulled for the win to total 2K. Me and Ernie Lillibridge Jr., who was obviously very famous in powerlifting, were tied neck and neck. And if I pulled that, I would have won because I was like a pound lighter than him at weigh-ins. We would have totaled the same amount. And he actually got hurt on his third squat and still pushed through the meet. He's a fucking badass. He's also a close friend of mine.
Yeah.
Love Ernie Jr. Love him. And I actually started working with the Little Bridges after that. I've worked with quite a few coaches. I worked with Greg Panora. He was out of Westside Barbell. He's talked about on Westside versus the World. I worked with a guy named after that, I started working with a guy named Sammy Raffa. He's a friend of mine. He's Italian from Canada. Just a regular old guy, but really smart. Smart. Technical about everything. Very strategical. Then I started working with Ben Pauly, I think he's got something going with Elite FTS right now because he's doing like form breakdown and stuff for Dave Tate. You know Dave Tate, right? Mm-hmm. Dave Tate actually just recently added me on Instagram. I felt pretty cool.
Yeah.
So he's watching my stuff, so that's pretty awesome. And then I started working with the Little Bridges, and currently I'm working with a guy named Kyle. I can't remember what his last name is. I don't even know how to. It's like K something. I don't know. But he had the world record at 165 all time open. Wow. So he's a pretty strong guy for his size too.
Yeah.
And that's my coach currently that I'm working with. I just kind of needed somebody that I could give feedback to that would take my input and give me basically what I wanted, but auto-regulate my numbers for me.
Right.
Because I have an ego that's bigger than my head. Right. So my ego is big. These weights, I'm not scared of them. I have no fear.
You can't go under a bar like that and think like, oh, this is so heavy.
It'll crush you.
I tell my clients, no matter what they're lifting, I always lead with, all right, we got an easy set of 10 coming up or whatever it is.
Yep.
Because I want to frame that set for them. The difference between if I walked up and I'm like, this is going to be a hard set for 10 or, all right, let's do an easy set of 10. The difference, what it sets the tone in their mind, it's good. Like you said, the weight doesn't lie.
Yeah. The weights
50
are
pounds
always
is 50
the same.
pounds, 100 pounds, 100 pounds. The weight is the same every time, but how we frame it and how we look at it. So like if you were to get under 700 pounds and think, this is heavy.
That happened to me.
That
happened to me at the Arnold a little bit this year. So I was sick. I was sick a week out of the meet. I was like, holy crap. So I just slept every day up until the meet. Then I took a bunch of Benadryl the night before to just make sure I got good sleep and my sinuses are clear. Well, I woke up with that Benadryl fog. You know what I'm talking about? So I go out to squat 740. I'm like, holy crap. It felt heavy. I was like, this should not be heavy. So I go up at 790. That's my second attempt. I headbutted the bar. And blood just starts pouring out my forehead, right? I squatted that fast. I was like, boom, boom. Is that fight or flight? Yeah. Oh, man, the EMS people or whatever came up to me. They're like, let me get your head. It's gushing blood. I'm like, get the fuck away from me. and like, I was in the animal mode, you know. I had to turn that on, but I don't have that happen very often. It's just the only time that happens to me mentally is when something is light for me 99% of the time, and it isn't right then. Right. But I also do a lot of recording for that purpose. So I record things, even in training, and then I can watch it to see, I'm like, did it move good? Or am I thinking it moved like crap? You know what I mean? Because if it didn't move like crap, there's no reason for me not to just go up. If you know what I mean? Like if I'm warming up.
Well, and I think that's a good point to highlight for our viewers, because I know I've seen people with tripods, you know, recording in the gym, and it's not always a vanity thing. Like,
no,
just like mirrors in the gym they're not for vanity. It's for, you can monitor your movements by watching yourself. And if you're deadlifting, it's really hard. I mean, what happens if you're deadlifting and you're like wanting to look in the mirror over here?
You're about to tear something in your trap.
Yeah. Your trap's on.
It's the only time
we could talk about all my injuries real quick too if you want to, because I just brought up some. So before I went to England, I actually pulled something in my pec major, and I had barely even got my open bench press over there. I would have smoked. I actually tied for second and got third because the guy was lighter than me at England. He pulled like 815 deadlift at the end. They call him Dreadlift. I don't know if you ever heard of that guy, but he broke the damn platform up top. We had to start pulling off the ground in the front. It was so ghetto. It was, man. It was IPL Worlds. We had like 18 nations there.
Yeah.
Like, I met some cool guys, though, when I was there. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I went to IPL Worlds. Then, that was 2021. I think 2023, I went down to Alabama for IPL Worlds. And in Alabama, I tore my scap tie-in. Oh. So, like, I think it was like 3 weeks out of the meet. I didn't know what peptides were at the time, sadly. So I went in with like a half a trap, you know, and I think I squatted like 697, and the bar was like crooked because I couldn't lock it in. I was like, I squatted it though, I got it, and then I pulled like 700. I think it was like 699 or something. I don't know what the hell it was, but I couldn't bench nothing. Every time I pressed in the bar, it was like,
just
like,
stop.
Yeah, it felt like something stopped me from behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then what was it? 26 days out of the Arnold. I was going to hit my last heavy squat. It was 860. No bull crap. I've been trying to come back since then. My squat was insane at the time. Going down, felt a pop. It was in my hamstring. And I racked the weight because I panicked, and I shot up quicker than I would have if I was fine.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
I felt that rip in my hamstring. I think I had too high of a rep on my left leg. Anyways, I blasted a half C of BPC 157 and a half C of TB 500 every day, intramuscular injection right into that baby. And I squatted, 780 at the Arnold. And then I benched 500, and I pulled 720, and that would have gave me the win. But I dropped it because my skin all ripped off. So I ended up pulling 675, ended up totaling like 1955 or something with a torn hamstring, 26 days out. Doctor said, not going to happen. You're not going to want to do this comp. Can't walk. Oh, okay. Guess what? Peptides are amazing because I squatted like 300 pounds a week after I started using the peptides. It hurt real bad. And I squatted like 500 after 2 weeks. I threw 6 on at about 3 weeks out. I think I did like 650. And that was with chains. So it was like 500 weight, 150 in chains. And then I squatted 780 at Arnold. Don't know how the hell that worked, but they said I wasn't going to be able to do it.
You said 26 days after injury?
26 days after tearing a piece of my hamstring, yeah.
They diagnosed what kind of tear was it?
It was just like a minor tear, but they said it'd take about 6 months to heal.
Yeah.
I've had hamstrings, and they're
yeah, or even like a minor pull is longer than 3 weeks, bro.
Yeah.
A minor pull, no way you're squatting 800 pounds.
No shot.
And I got gun shy after that, though. That really ruined my squat for quite a while, though.
Yeah.
even when I was better, it wasn't better.
Right.
There was like almost like a knot back there, and I almost had to relearn how to squat. But then I got with the Lillibridges after the Arnold, and when did I compete again? I don't know. I competed at the American Muscle. I won the whole thing or whatever. And I ended up squatting 804, benching 506, and pulling 690. And I totaled 2004, 2006 or something. I don't know. I don't remember. It was over 2K. It was my first 2K total. It was pretty epic. Right? I was pretty happy. Even though my pull sucked. My deadlift. I think anytime I pull over under 700 a comp, I'm pretty angry. I am. I think it sucks.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that goes into your personal standard, right?
yeah,
This is your baseline. 700's your baseline.
yeah,
right?
just like 800 on squats a baseline for
Yeah.
me, and 500 on bench.
If you do under that, you're terrible. You're mad. It's a terrible lift for you, right?
Yeah,
So-
I got 3 baselines: 800 squat, 500 bench, 700-pound deadlift. Anything less than that, I bite my own ass about it because I'm not happy.
Right.
And I think I don't know. I think I've just gotten really. I've been in the strength world long enough now, and I've gotten to the level where like I talk a big game. I gotta back it up,
Right.
and if I don't, well, I just shot myself in the foot, right?
Now let's take a moment to thank our sponsors, Pine Haven Assisted Living. At Pine Haven Assisted Living, they believe in making every resident feel at home. Nestled in the peaceful countryside of Hemlock, Michigan, they offer compassionate care in a family-like environment where residents can enjoy independence with the support they need. Registered nurse-owned and operated, their team provides personalized care, home-cooked meals, and a range of activities to ensure your loved ones continue to live a fulfilling life. They also have alpacas and llamas on site to enrich the lives of their residents. Experience the warmth and comfort of Pine Haven. Call them today at 989-295-6632. That's 989-295-6632. Or you can visit them on their website at pinehavenassistedliving.com. That's pinehavenassistedliving.com for more information. Now, back to the Level Up Life. Well, I think confidence or overconfidence, not even overconfidence, but just, I mean, I walk up to the plate. I play men's fast pitch softball. I walk up to the plate thinking every time I'm going to hit a home run.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're defeating yourself before you even walk up.
Yeah.
There. So that's like with you, and this applies to anything in life, right? If we have a defeatist mindset in anything, it's going to just hold us. We're going to hold ourselves back. So
Oh, I agree, 100%.
for me, like thinking your numbers, you're saying I have hip issue, knee issue, it's not on my radar.
Yeah.
I'm personally not willing to go through the pain.
Yeah, speaking of pain,
that
I'll
it takes.
tell you about that squat I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So the most painful squat I've ever felt was I had 800 pounds on the bar on a cambered bar. I did this at RPG Gym, Rochester Performance Gym in Rochester Hills. Steve Stucher runs it, one of the best gyms in Michigan for strength. Strongest gym in Michigan, hands down, for sure. Mostly geared guys, but I don't care. If you think geared guys aren't strong, go take the suits off and see if you can keep up. It's not going to happen. They're still strong as hell. The owner squatted 900 the
So
other day.
what does explain to the audience
The
with
geared lifting?
When you
Okay,
have like
so
this,
I don't wear it, and I've never actually tried any of it on except for shirts. I put a banded shirt on, I think. No, did I try? Yeah, I tried a banded shirt. I think I benched 700 in it. I put FA sling, like a FA. It's like a double ply sling type thing, kind of like a slingshot. And I benched, the hell was it, 680 something in that thing? I don't know.
Right.
That was down at Flint Pride Barbell, which isn't even a gym. It's a private club.
Right.
You can only get in if you're invited. But those guys, I mean, like Ben Pauly benched 800 in one not that long ago at the last meet I did with him, which I won that one. That was the Crocs Classic, I don't know if you know who Matt Kroc was. Yeah, world record holder. He owns a gym down there now. He goes by Janae Kroc now, but he owns his own gym. or she, whatever. It's phenomenal. The gym is phenomenal. And it's a really good gym. And back in the day, he had a bunch of world records when he was competing. And then now the best gym I still think is RPG though. But that was the geared era. So when you wear a suit, you can squat more. It's like compression, right?
Right. Just like the wraps.
Yep. So you also notice Thor wore a suit when he deadlifted, right?
Yeah, didn't he?
He pulled 505 kilograms,
Yeah.
which is 1113, right? Which is a little more than Eddie. Eddie's haul was Eddie's hip through at the top was better for sure.
Yeah.
But his knees weren't locked, and Thor's knees were locked, and his hip through wasn't there. So they're both world records. It's not powerlifting, it's strongman.
Yeah.
Everybody that's powerlifter is so about it. But whatever, I don't care.
I remember watching the video over and over, waiting for him to lock out.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Where's the lockout? Where's the
Yeah,
lockout?"
you got to get over that stuff.
But yeah,
It's not powerlifting, bro.
No.
It's not the same standard.
Right.
They want it up, and they want it looking like you're erect. That's
Right.
all.
Yeah.
So like Colton did much better, right? You seen Colton?
No, I didn't. Who's that?
He pulled 500 kilograms. The South African kid. He did it sumo.
When was that?
A couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Just a couple weeks ago.
It's probably just record because there's so much contention between Eddie and.
Oh
Thor.
yeah,
There's
but that Colton kid's 100% stronger than all of them, like hands down. He squatted 1,036.
Wow.
And then deadlifted that 1,100 and benched almost 6.
Where's his body weight? Cause
I think he was like 2. He has a hard time getting up to 275.
wow.
I know he's like he took the 242 all-time world record. He actually broke Dan Bell's world record, the total all-time world record.
Yeah.
So he has the highest classic raw total ever all time. And he's not the heaviest.
Wow.
So he's got the highest dots of
Yeah,
all time and
for
stuff
sure.
too. Coefficiency. I think like my coefficiency is like 537. Whatever the hell that means. I don't even care. But it doesn't mean nothing to me.
Right.
Sure.
It's like I don't know. Dots only matter when it's time to win the meet.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like I really don't care other than that. But everybody fixates
It's just another
on it.
objective scale people
Yes.
throw at you, and yeah.
When you're talking like Thor's what 6'8", near
Yeah, he's pretty
400
big.
At least,
400 pounds almost.
Yeah, I seen him
Yeah.
walking around the Arnold. He's big.
Well, and so I reference my strength training coach that kind of taught me foundational stuff. Will Luzar at Midland High. He had the strength index. So I'm 135 pounds in high school. You know, all these guys are putting up 500-600 pound deadlifts. Here I am. I'm 135 pounds, and I was putting up like 350.
Yeah.
So he would add up our big three total across, like everybody, and then divide by our body weight, and it gave us our strength index.
Yeah, that's your coefficiency.
So it would give me the opportunity to win one every once in a while, because pound for pound I was lifting a little bit more than these other guys, but I was nowhere near their total.
That's that
numbers.
little guy win right there, right?
Yeah.
So like I was all about it when I was smaller. I definitely obsessed over it. But like I'm not big by any means now. But now that I'm like hanging with the big guys with my numbers, regardless of size, I don't give a shit.
Right.
Strong is strong. Big A is strong. Strong is strong. You got John Hack totaling 2,300 pounds. He weighed in at 198. Why the hell are we going by pound per pound anymore? I don't care. You better total 2,400 at 165 if you want me to be impressed.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't give a shit.
2,400 at
Yeah,
165.
I don't care. Otherwise, I don't care.
Right.
Colton's hitting 2,600. He weighs like 250, 260. Get out of here.
So would you
with
say
that.
he's the strongest man on the planet?
Yes, 100%. Over Thor, over everybody. Yes, he benches like 600, squats well over a grand, probably close to 1,100 pound squat too. With like smooth 1036. He's a South African. Crazy. Him and Nicholas de la Perez, both from South Africa. Very strong guys. Nicholas de Perez looks like a pro bodybuilder. He competes this weekend.
I think I've seen.
They're highlighting him a lot now. He looks good.
Yeah.
He's an ABS Pro competitor. He's been going. Zach Myers is another guy that's really strong but doesn't look good, you know. But Zach, he's not like ripped. But Zach Myers is phenomenal.
Well, here we
Yeah,
go.
there's Colton. There's the 500 kilograms right there. That was in Russia. That's in Moscow. Beautiful, huh?
Wow.
Tell me who did it better.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
clean and easy was that? He pulled it without straps before that. That was his third attempt. This is his fourth attempt. This is after squatting 1,000 pounds and benching almost 600, by the way, and pulling 900 two times and pulling 9 plus, 1,000 plus. Then he pulled this without straps, ripped all skin off his hands. They gave him a fourth attempt to go out for the crowd. He threw straps on and pulled it. It doesn't actually count, but how amazing is that?
Yeah.
Tell me who could do that in strongman.
And when you compare like Eddie's lift,
Look at the size of him.
being that same weight.
Look at the size of him. And how wide is that sumo? Not very, right? His conventional is almost 1,000 pounds too.
Yeah.
So who's even close to him? No suit, just straps on that. And main sponsor, Burger King. Look, no joke.
Well, I think when I see that, I don't think about just the lift, right? I think about the amount of work that he's put in to get to that level, because it's not, well, I can get there in 5 years, or it's dedication, overtime, consistency, nutrition.
Well, it's the same concept with me, right? I'm in the same world with him, but I bet he's a little more like disciplined than I am. But like the one thing is like with the consistency of doing this over time and doing it over and over is like you have to keep setting new limits for yourself, and then you have to evolve your training. So there's no one set standard of training for even one person.
For sure.
That's not true either.
Yeah.
You have to evolve your training. The one thing I know is that the weights I'm moving now are more taxing than the weights I used to move. So I can't train at the same frequency.
Right.
When I was weaker, I could train more. Yes, young people can get away with training more. That's kind of true.
Yeah.
But the other truth is weaker people can get away with training more.
Right.
Okay? It's not a nice way to say it, but
Less
it's true.
taxing on the nervous system.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, and I didn't even get to that one. I forgot to say that. So the best squat I've ever done was at RPG, and I kind of strayed off. I'm sorry, I went into a tangent. I squatted 800 pounds on a cambered bar with 350 pounds of chains, I think is what it was. Maybe it was like 750 and 350 pounds of chains, because I think it was only 1,100. But anyways, I've only felt 1,100 on my back one time, okay? And I hit the pocket and was coming up, and I got the squat. But I just remember I really couldn't take in a brace. I braced as good as I could before I pushed into the bar, because I went to unrack it, and I couldn't take anything in. I re-racked, came down, took my brace before unracking, and held that motherfucker. Sorry. And I could not get a brace under that much weight. Then as I was coming down, I felt my balls got a little bit out of me.
Yep.
And then as I was coming up, I was shaking all the way up. And then I remember feeling a little puke coming up, and I swallowed it like that. I was like, yeah, after, you know. And it looked like nothing happened to me, but a lot of bad stuff happened to me. I'm driving home, and I feel I'm like pissing myself a little. I'm like, uh-oh, you know.
Right.
And then I get home, and like my feet, the bottom of my feet look like blisters on them, right? And then I get my shirt off, and I have a bar print on my back. That cambered bar is flat and goes down. You've seen it, right? And you hold it like this. And you can see the bar print on my back. And then all the zits on my back were like, I didn't even know I had that many zits on my back. It just pushed them out.
Yeah.
Pushed
Blackheads.
pushed them right out. There was like nothing there. You know, they were all pushed right out, and it was like a bruise. And I'm telling you, it hurt to touch my traps for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yep. So that was pretty awesome, though.
I'm sure you're all calloused up back there too.
Oh, no, I still get bruises. I change bars all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I probably do have somewhat of a callus. I don't do shrugs. My traps are bigger than everybody's in the room, you know?
It's deadlifts.
Yeah, I don't have to shrug. I deadlift too much
I don't
weight.
either. I deadlift at least once a week.
Yeah.
And I do it a little high rep tempo too, so it's 10 rep whatever.
Yeah.
That's all I need. And I'll have it programmed too to be back right after. And I can't come off of a deadlift day and go straight to back. There's no way. And do excess trap movement anyway.
Yeah,
It just wouldn't work. I've noticed that recovery, then the workout's just shot anyway. There's just no point. But
Yeah, because everything up there is already
yeah,
taxed.
absolutely fried.
Well, and then like I try to do a lot of deficit work too. That's even more tug on your traps.
Yeah,
It really
for
is.
sure.
That extra motion down with that weight is definitely more on your traps. But regardless, the weight on deadlifts is all it takes.
yeah, yep,
Because
Just a heavy load.
yep.
I've been really into farmer walks, heavy farmer walks.
Oh yeah, they're phenomenal for grip.
Heavy carries, yeah.
They're good for your overall erectors and stuff too. That's more like health based. So
Yeah.
So like now something I've gotten into this prep that I'm doing right now that I've gotten to is actually like trying to worry about being healthy for once. I've been into powerlifting for like 4 or 5 years. Health's been the least of my concern. To be honest with you, I had an episode about 3 years ago, and I thought I was about to die. Honestly, for real, I had a seizure. I was at what was it, Matchbox 20 show at the what is that place called? I'm trying to remember the name of the concert venue down there. It's a big one. Everybody goes there all the time.
What town?
I don't know, man. About an hour and a half south.
Like, what is that?
In Detroit?
The old
Pine Knob.
Yeah.
Yep. So I went to Pine Knob.
It's not Pine Knob anymore, but
It was when I went there a couple years ago, and I went to Pine Knob, and I had a seizure during the event. I woke up, and I didn't really know what was going on. I was smoking weed still, and I was drinking a bunch of energy drinks, and I ate a bunch of edibles, and I don't know what the hell. And I was just eating crap food and just getting big as I could and not worrying about it. And I think I had like between a glucose thing and the high and everything together kind of got me. And then when I woke up, I just like, don't touch me, get the fuck off me, to all the medical people. And I walked myself to the tent, and I felt really out of it, and I was like really bad. And I scared the hell out of my girlfriend and everybody we were with. And I was just kind of out of shape is what happened. I was strong, but I was out of shape.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go to the doctors, and they were telling me, you got to be careful with your heart now or whatever. And I remember laying in bed after that, and I was thinking, I'm going to do my next comp regardless. And that's the comp I ended up getting like third in the world after that. And I was like, I'd rather be dead than not do this. And I told my girl that, I just can't imagine living without doing what I'm doing. I have a purpose right now. And my purpose is to set a world record at some point. And at least I got to crack the top 3 in the world to do so. And I ended up doing it a couple months later. And I was pretty proud of myself. I came back and did that. But I definitely started to get healthier at that point. And I got a little bit away from like doing whatever I wanted, eating whatever I wanted all the time. And try to kind of create a balance with my life between fitness and strength. Right. Because there is no balance. Otherwise, you have to create it. Strength is not fitness.
Yeah.
Right.
Just because you're strong, I mean, you're healthy.
Yeah.
There are some aspects of cardiovascular.
Yep. Your heart.
A strong heart.
Yeah.
Because a lot of when you lift heavy, what happens to your blood pressure and your heart, all of that goes up like this. This is why you hear people on, like people, older people go out and shovel, and it's really heavy, wet snow. The news might tell you, be really careful. This is a heavy snow. Don't shovel. The older people will go out and shovel, and their bodies aren't conditioned to lifting these heavy things, and they go, and that strain is what creates a heart attack.
Peak intensity point, and that's all it takes.
That's why I preach and strength is relative, right? So what's strong to me, you could probably move. When you're talking like the strength velocity curve, you could move what is really heavy for me probably pretty quickly.
Yes.
But then there's people, you go across the spectrum of strength, it's relative. So for this individual who doesn't lift in their 70s, that they're sedentary, when they go lift that shovel full of snow, it's going to be really, really heavy.
It's heavy to them.
And it's going to tax their heart. Yep. So that's the benefit of lifting heavy is your heart is strong in that.
Yeah,
way.
and you need your calves healthy too, because it's your second heart.
Yep. And
Your
then
calves are always your second heart. That's one thing people don't even talk about in the fitness industry, but your calves are the furthest thing away from your heart. That's a muscle that pumps a lot of blood. So you need a very, very healthy calves. So that's why, like in this prep, I got used to like walking a lot. So I walk 10 minutes.
Yep.
I
helps
also
your
got
body
back.
digest too.
Yeah, it helps digestion, helps regulate insulin levels and stuff. because I don't really know what that issue I had was. I don't know if it was entirely heart. I was also blasting quite a bit of juice at the time, juice steroids, okay? I'm not a closet steroid user. I use steroids. I'm 40 years old. You think anybody's doing what I'm doing at my age without steroids? Let me know what their name is, because you can look me up every year in powerlifting. I'm like one of the top guys.
So explain the difference between, with that topic being brought up, like USAPL.
Yeah, USAPL
versus like XPC.
USPA, XPC. Dude, there's so many damn feds. I forget their names. I did an interview one time, and I was like, getting ready for NPL Worlds, and I was like XPC Worlds that time, and I don't even care anymore. It's IPL Worlds I did. I think I called it NPL Worlds or whatever, and then I was doing an XPC too. I don't even know these stupid names. I did I got the 2,000 pound total in the WRPF. I don't give a shit what fed it is. Just give me a platform and give me a sanctioned meet. I don't know. What's different to me about the USAPL is they've created a cult, right? And they're like the IFP or something, IPF and the USAPL have culted out their stuff, right? And the IPF is horrible to their athletes. They treat them like total crap. If they go anywhere else, they're like banned from their stuff. They can be banned for some minimum stuff. They can't have a political or a mental feeling of any sort that doesn't go with the Fed. The Fed pays out. You heard of the Sheffield Open, right? You know what the Sheffield is? Jesus is the one that squatted like 1,000 something, the big Mexican cat, and he set that world record. No, anyways, it was like a drug tested world record. And my coach and me talked about this before, is you won't see a big dynamic difference in large guys for world records compared to geared guys.
Sure.
You'll see a big difference in smaller guys and strength differences. Yeah. Because what steroids allow you to do is recover faster and pack on more muscle on a smaller frame. Yeah. So the guys at 198, who the hell's touching John Hack in the IPF? Nobody.
Yeah, right.
That's it. That's my response every time. I laugh at you. You're gonna tell me someone gonna beat John Hack with an IPF that's getting tested? Nah, not happening. Right? Because he can pack so much more muscle on that frame. And it's just general concept. You could just go look at the world records across the board. There's always a percentage difference, obviously, but it's not as big as what you think. It's an edge, right? It's no different than the edge of a guy that diets every day and eats clean, or a guy that's got a really easy life. He gets to sleep more than the other guy. When I started my business last year, just to let everybody know, I was working 50 to 60 hours a week out of Detroit as a machine tool pipe fitter, driving back and forth, still training 3 days, 4 days a week for an hour and a half, seeing my kids only on the weekends if I had them off, or an hour or two out of a day, right? Because you have to make a sacrifice. Doesn't matter what you take, right? That gym don't come to me and just get me big. I can't flick my pinky and grow my glutes. Yeah. That's just not how it actually works. Some old timer told me that a long time ago, and he's full of it. He didn't know what he was talking about. And I was scared of steroids when I was younger because of that. I did not start them until I was 35 years old. I'm 40 this coming month. I'll be 40. I don't care. I love how I feel on them. I also know what it's like to abuse them. It's kind of like the concept of the marijuana thing, right? You got people that can use it lightly. You got people that won't. Yeah. Well, I was an abuser of it for sure when I started because I felt like a god, right? But I got down, started taking less and less and less, and then I came up and brought up a little bit. Now I feel really good again. I'm not taking too much. My blood pressure's really good. Like I drank an energy drink the other day, and we were at Myers, and I love to put my arm in that cuff. Half the time I do it to see if I can get my arm in it, right? Because they're so small. I think it's only like 18 inches around. Yeah. My arms are like 20 flex, so I'm lucky to get my arm in there, right? So I put my arm in there, and my blood pressure was like 130/84. That's pretty damn close to perfect. That's after drinking an energy drink. Literally after. So you don't think my blood pressure was higher for the energy drink? So I'm assuming my blood pressure is pretty good. I don't check it all the time. Right. I also get blood work out here from Live One.
That's what I was going to ask about too.
Live One.
If you're monitoring that too, obviously.
Yep. I take 17 supplements a day.
Yeah.
Before bed. But I just started doing this stuff when I got ready for the world record because I know it sounds weird, but I did want to be competitive, but I didn't feel like I needed to check every box until I felt like I was competitive enough to take that.
Right.
I know that sounds strange, but I'm being serious.
Yeah.
And I definitely noticed the difference between taking supplements every day, mitigating my sleep, making sure it's perfect every week as much as possible.
Yeah.
I got 2 young kids in my house. One's 9, one's 12.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Right.
But, you know, you got kids, right?
Oh, yeah.
How old yours?
15, 17, 18, and 20.
Chill. Dang, chill. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I got an 18-year-old this year, too, my oldest.
Yeah.
But I got 2 little ones in the house, 12 and 9. Anyways, trying to check all those boxes has really made a big difference. It's awkward when we're in public settings sometimes because I eat and then I go off and walk for 10 minutes.
Right.
And my family's like, do. And I'm like, I'll be back. Give me 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like we went up north for the 4th of July. Every time we ate, I had to go off and walk. There's nowhere to walk up there, so I'm doing circles.
Restaurants should start to normalize
Get a track
post-eating tracks.
They won't.
Yeah.
They just
Because
won't.
it's actually really, really good for the body.
Stan Efferton is one of the reasons I did it. You know who Stan is?
Mm-hmm. I've heard
Stan the
name.
Rhino.
Yep.
Yeah, the reverse diet. You ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah.
That's his.
Yep.
Yep, he's the originator of that. And he also made some, you ever watch Shark Tank?
Mm-hmm.
So he had like this vitamin water jug thing that he got them to buy into. So Stan's pretty awesome. And also, Stan is like timeless in terms of strength. So Stan's probably pushing 55 years old, 60. He's still repping 600 pounds on squat and deadlift and 400 pounds on bench. You know, that's somebody's grandpa.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm just saying, he's phenomenal. Looks great. Yeah. He was a pro bodybuilder. I think he played college football, and he broke the all-time world record in powerlifting a couple times.
Wow.
So just an impressive athlete all around.
And when you have multiple competition too with 2 separate goals,
yeah,
that don't intertwine too, it's
it's impressive.
Yeah.
Right now, just recently, I worked with a guy that got signed to the NFL. His name is. Damn, I'm trying to think of it. Sorry, I don't know why it's not coming to my head. I just seen him. Anyways, he got signed to the NFL. He played basketball in college and was really good at MSU, and played football in college, and got an offer from the NFL and took the NFL. But you know how amazing that is to be good at 2 things that? That's insane that he was at that high. College, anything is insane. Everybody talks about pro everything. You know how insane those college athletes are, how insanely good they are. Just to make even a string on that team, then to get offered the NFL, be not even in the sport that you were last playing. How damn good are you?
Yep.
He's 6'8", and he's 330 pounds. Or no, he's 6'10", I'm sorry.
Wow.
6'10". He's a big boy.
Yeah.
O lineman.
No, I don't think so. He's fast, bro.
D tackle or
Fast.
something?
I can't remember.
DN,
I don't watch
probably.
football, bro.
At
I didn't even
DN,
know.
at
I found out he was in the
336.
NFL from somebody else. I just was helping out with some stuff in the gym. Just so, I'm like, I worked with a guy from the NFL. I could say that.
Did
now,
you? What kind of stuff was it working? Just
some
lifts?
squat technique stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So no like dynamic movement stuff for sport specific.
No,
training.
because I didn't want to interfere with his NFL
Right.
stuff.
I figure you already have. People
I'm not
there.
ignorant to that.
Yeah, sure.
You just don't step on toes.
Right.
There's definitely some things I would add in there for him, I think. But I'm also not going to do that unless he asks for it.
Balance out that so it translates better to sport specific. Because when you understand the strength aspect of that and then the power transfer, but you have somebody only working on the agility and quickness and power itself, bridging that gap is important.
Yep.
Because you can't just spend all this time training it and never learn how to use it.
Yep.
So yeah, if you have
It's
somebody who's
useless.
already working, you're right. Yeah.
Well, another thing, I got back into martial arts recently, and I had a pretty good background in it back in the day. I trained in it quite a bit. Like I said, with that Mark Kennard guy, we used to have an MMA team called Team Omega, and we used to go train all over. We used to beat people up at gyms all the time. It was fun. And I even used to go to and challenge instructors at martial arts studios and stuff. That's how I met him. He kicked me in the mouth and split my tongue open, and we became friends. That's how I became my friend.
That's a great way to start a friendship.
It was.
Yeah,
He's a
that's
great
awesome.
guy. I want to spar him again soon. I'm starting to get back into it. I'm about 8 weeks into it.
Yeah.
But I got to go spar a bunch of his black belts the other day, and I destroyed a bunch of them just because my timing and my technique was so good.
Yeah.
But my explosive power from strength training, it's like, I don't know. It feels like a cheat code.
Yep.
It felt like a cheat code. They felt slower. Like, I mean, I know you're skinny, smaller than me. These guys were trained and built like you. I would have no problem sparring and fighting around with you too.
Yeah. Oh, I believe it.
Wrestlers, everything. I could still wrestle at a college level. Like the strength training, I didn't even practice other things. And as soon as I did it for a couple weeks, I'm like at a high level again.
It's just learning that transfer.
Yeah.
Yep. But it's
Yeah,
all that,
like,
yep.
and then just getting my technique down on, because I'm right dominant, but I've always like messed around and still done kicks and punching's obviously, punching's very natural.
Sure.
I think human beings naturally punch easier than they kick. But I could use both sides. Bilaterally, I'm like good at kicking. I could throw spin kicks and stuff that you wouldn't see coming from a guy my size. And I can kick to like 6 foot head level. You know what I mean?
Flexibility
like
stuff.
I stretch 40 minutes a day.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
I do that for powerlifting. I didn't even do it for Taekwondo.
Right. Yep.
I do it so that I don't ball up. And because a couple of years ago, we were up at 4th of July at Mackinac, and my hip locked up at me because my IT bands are so tight.
Yep.
I couldn't walk. I was like, oh.
Well, yeah, greater increase all around. You need more for one, prep, warm up, and then recovery after.
Yeah.
That's what people don't understand is the exponential increase of everything before and after your lift when those lifts go up.
Yeah.
It's because you're building like a pyramid.
Yep.
Here's that lift at the top. That base gets so much wider just to deal with everything that goes into it.
Yeah, that static stretching, I do it every night, man.
Yeah.
I mean, my piriformis is the number one muscle I have to worry about.
You do a lot of pigeon.
Yeah. Yep.
Pigeon pose. Yep.
Yep. I do the child pose all the time. I try to remember the names of these things. The seal one. The seal where you're upright like this off the ground. I do that for 2 minutes every night.
Hip flexor, yep.
Yeah, it's super good for your hip and your groin area because this right here.
Done runner stance at all? That's you. Basically a big lunge, then you open up to single
Oh,
side.
yeah. I call it the world's greatest stretch.
Stretches, yeah.
Yes, I do that. And I push out on the hip flexor.
Love it. Yep.
Yep, but and then I also still do like static holds and stuff too that are kind of like not a stretch, but they're like it's a body weight thing. So Copenhagen planks are really good.
Yep.
I do Copenhagens quite often to keep my inner thighs like healthy.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'll start doing some pull aparts with that. Try to keep my spine healthy. So I talked about the reverse hyperextension is really important for health. Also, honestly, anybody that wants to stay strong for a long time, if you're not using a reverse hyper, you're missing out big time. And you're probably looking at long-term damage to your spine lifting heavy like this.
Sure. Compression.
Yes, the compression's not going to stop.
Yep.
Right.
So how am I going to stop it? I'm going to pull it out.
And it also doesn't matter how perfect technique is, you have slip-ups.
Yeah,
Like
it doesn't
it's
even
just
matter.
part of the process.
Well, it's still pressure, right?
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. Technique doesn't stop your spinal pressure.
Right, yeah.
More
There is no
weight, more
technique for
pressure.
that.
Yeah.
Tell me what it is. I'd like to know. I'll learn it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I swear I'll start focusing on it. Let me know what decompresses
don't
the
have
spine
to-
without that thing.
You don't have to, yeah, seriously.
There's nothing.
No.
The only thing you can do is pull it apart.
Yep.
I mean, I love Louis Simmons. R.I.P. to the king.
Yep.
He was the GOAT, bro.
Created it.
Yeah, I mean, Westside Barbell principles have lined up everything I do to this day. I mean, I definitely still appreciate the Eastern Bloc nations for everything that they created prior, but he sharpened it for us and gave us a better tool.
Yep.
You know, anybody that doesn't use any form of Westside principles is foolish. They're foolish. If he was still around right now, they'd still be a mecca, and they'd be still building MMA champions, boxing champions, running champions. I don't care what sport you're in. He was building champions at everything. He'll make you stronger and faster. You know, I think Diego Sanchez was training that with him at one point. Remember him from the UFC?
Yep.
You remember him?
I'm not a big fighter guy.
Yeah. I love fighting, man. It's so.
I
good.
wish I like. It's something that you just hear so much about, but I just never. That's just me in sports in general.
Yeah.
I never take time to sit and watch. I played my fair share, but it was never watching. Is just let me just do it if I want to do it.
Yeah, I feel that, bro.
So
I don't even care about football. I don't care about basketball.
I just never keep up with stuff
I like
too,
wrestling because I like wrestling.
Yeah.
I always liked wrestling. I even like fake wrestling. Love fake wrestling. Brock Lesnar's awesome. Somehow he got to the UFC and did good. I was like, hell yeah. Get to see him on two, platforms. But I love wrestling. Hulk Hogan just died.
Yeah.
That's insane. He's the reason I ate vitamins when I was a little kid.
Hulkamania.
Eat your vitamins, brother. And I was like, got to.
Yep.
Give me the Flintstones, boys.
Yep.
Those tart boys.
I remember Ric Flair. Woo!
Oh, man. Ric Flair's still alive. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
I swear, Hogan seemed like he lived a much cleaner life than Ric Flair. So Ric Flair's got a hell of a heart.
Well, who else just passed recently?
Ozzy.
Yeah. Richard
77.
Simmons. Richard Simmons didn't even live that long.
Well, Richard Simmons was a weird character.
Well, yeah, and
We're going to leave that out of this because I'll say something bad. I don't like him.
right.
I
Well,
didn't like
so
him.
do you have anything you want to tell the audience before we wrap up here?
In terms of anything,
Like,
just,
what's your meets coming up?
So I got a powerlifting meet November 15th, 2025 here. Something I guess I didn't bring up through the whole podcast is I'm making a documentary right now. I forgot to tell you that.
Wow.
His name's Luca from Poland. He's making a documentary on me. We're going to get it on Tubi for sure, potentially Prime, and maybe Netflix. We're going to shoot it to him. The trailer's already out. It's on my Instagram. You can look it up in my highlights.
Muscles 1985. Right?
Muscles 1985 is my Instagram, and then Russell Yankee is my Facebook. But the documentary is being filmed all the way up till November, so we're still in the making of it currently. And then it'll come out in March. It'll be in theaters in Bay City in March at the State Theater. I'll send you something on that when I do it. And then hopefully I break that world record. I don't want to be too cocky and say it's for sure. And then if that goes well, or for sure, even if it doesn't, for sure in March, going for the all-time world record sleeve total at 242 as a Masters. And then after that, I don't know what I'm going to do, because if I set 2 world records, what do I have to aim for anymore? I'm not beating the young guys, that's for sure.
It's a bad problem or a good problem to have.
Yeah, it might be a good problem to have. It sounds like it, but it's like sounds like end of the road. I feel like Old Yeller take me out back.
Now you're the competition.
Yeah.
You gotta beat your record.
I know it's the competition, but
Create the ladder for other people.
I feel like once you break a world record, though, it can't be taken from you. Aaron Chappell is a friend of mine, and Aaron Chappell broke a world record for Submasters a little while ago in sleeves, and somebody beat it not long after. And my exact words were to him is, nobody can ever take that from you.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe that. I don't care if somebody breaks my world record. I died knowing I broke a world record.
Sure.
An all-time world record. Nobody at the time on the planet was capable of doing what I did on that day. And that is my main goal. So anybody that's got any goals in their life, I will tell you this. It's probably going to take more than what you think it's going to take to get there. You're going to have to give up things you don't want to give up. It's going to hurt. It's going to feel good. You might enjoy the process. You might hate most of the process. But once you achieve it, it's something that you get to die with. And we do not live a very long life. We are not like trees or tortoises. We have very short lifespans as humans. And I feel like to have something like that, have an ultimate goal that is better than anything around you. I don't care if you're going for a state, national title, whatever. It doesn't have to be a world record. Whatever you're aiming for, or even making a spot on a high-level team. You know, you can always remember that day in your life for the rest of your life, and you get to take that with you. You don't get to take a lot of things with you. You don't take money with you. You don't take houses. You don't take cars. And sadly, you don't even get to take your family. But those go with you right to the end. So whatever you're going to do, keep focused and be willing to give up everything you think you won't.
100%. Amen.
Yes, sir.
Love that, man. Thank you all for tuning in. Click like, share, keep sharing that stuff. And I want to say thank you. Grateful for all of you tuning in. Peace.